Hello and welcome to another video with me, Winter Android, with another video of Weekly Entry, in which this week, anime-wise, this season has started ending, of course, so I got a bunch of stuff to talk about, so getting straight to that stuff, starting with Bye Bye Earth, which, I would say it was good at the very least, and it definitely had an interesting story to it, even if I didn't really understand what exactly was actually going on, because it didn't actually explain anything to you, and it is basically acting as if you already know everything about this world that the story is taking place in. So, yeah, weird choice when it comes to storytelling there, not actually explaining things, at least for the most part, considering it kind of started explaining some stuff towards the end of the season, but yeah, still don't really know much going on currently, though it is still interesting, I guess, to say the least. And the second season has been announced for it, so I guess hopefully we can get more answers in the second season. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, moving on to the next thing, which is My Wife Has No Emotion, or Bokutsuma, which, yeah, this is basically just the future in all honesty, with what this anime is. But, yeah, honestly, the good anime is pretty good. And when it comes to the whole robot android stuff, I guess, honestly, I would say it's kind of realistic and everything there, when it comes to what they are capable of and everything, especially when you take into account the corporations making them, trying to milk as much money as possible from you. Considering you have the whole thing with Mina there, where she's basically specifically supposed to be for cooking, but she can do everything else as well when it comes to house chores. But you have to pay for those add-ons, basically. She can do them, but you gotta pay for it if you don't want her annoying you all the time. So, yeah. And there's also, like, Super Mina as well, which I guess is kind of a bit closer to what I feel like could be possible when it comes to this stuff as well, realistically. But, not exactly sure about that, but focusing on more of the anime itself here, honestly, it's kind of pretty cringe, mostly thanks to Takuma. But overall, it's basically just a wholesome romance anime, despite the nature of it, I guess. And they even, Takuma and Mina there, but basically have a child thanks to some of the irregularities or whatever in Mina's past, I guess. And so I'm going to try and put that stuff to avoid actually saying any spoilers when it comes to that stuff there, for once. So, yeah, don't really have too much to say there. It's pretty good overall. That's it, to be honest. So moving on to the next thing here, which is a journey through another world, raising kids while adventuring. Or I guess the short name for it is Iseyuru. So yeah, honestly, it's basically just another very generic isekai anime, in which the only thing that's unique about it is the fact that the main character has to take care of kids. That's literally the only thing making it unique compared to all the other generic isekai anime, in all honesty. And even when it comes to these kids, Alan and Elena, they honestly may as well just be one character, to be honest, because there's only like 2 or 3 moments throughout the entire season where they actually showed any kind of individuality between them. But yeah, overall, it was literally just a very generic but wholesome isekai slice of life stuff there, basically. That's it. So moving on to the next thing, which is my dear friends Nokotan, or Shikanoko, Nokonoko, Koshitantan. Yeah, I have a bit of a hard time when it comes to trying to go through the entire Japanese name there, despite how good it is. Considering all the hype and everything at the beginning of the darn thing, with all opening and all that. But yeah, honestly, it had a lot of hype at the beginning of the season, that is for sure, which is mostly just due to that opening there. And yeah, I really enjoyed the first episode, I really did, but at least the very least for me, it kind of fell flat on its face after that first episode for the remainder of the season, basically. Which I guess basically means it was just another gag comedy anime that was just not for me, really, I guess. And to be honest, I kind of wonder how I did actually end up enjoying the first episode as much as I did, considering how much the rest of the season was basically just meh for me, to be honest. So, yeah. If I had to try and take a guess when it comes to that, it's probably because, despite the fact that it basically has the same kind of amount of absurdity going on in it in that first episode, the first episode, I guess, wasn't as much of a gag comedy as the rest of this anime was, or something. I'm really not sure. But yeah, it was good. Mostly depends on your sense of humor, to be honest, I guess. But yeah, moving on to the next thing, Ayla sometimes hides her feelings in Russian Roshidere, which honestly is a nice rom-com, and I kind of feel like it's better than the most of the kind of generic rom-coms and stuff. And I think that's mostly as a result of the characters themselves and just the dynamic going on between all of them. But one thing I will say for sure is the fact that Ayla herself was completely outshined by Yuki, considering, yeah, Yuki's character is practically made to entertain us, the viewer, watching the anime, considering her whole dynamic with Misa Hachika and everything else. It's just, yeah, she kind of carries the anime a bit at the very least, but Ayla herself is still good, but her character's overall kind of simple still. So hopefully she does get more development and stuff in the second season that has already been announced. So yeah, hopefully second season is just as good as the first one here. Now moving on to the next thing, which is Days with My Stepsister, and which honestly was a very nice slow burn romance. And yeah, it was a very slow burn romance there, considering the fact that it really didn't even start on a romance at all this entire season, it feels like, to be honest. But it is also very realistic, I guess, considering how awkward things were at the beginning between Saki and Yuta. And then there's also just the fact that they kind of was just flat out refusing to acknowledge their feelings for each other basically the entire season. Reason because they were basically too hung up on the sibling part of step siblings, and the fact that they didn't want to cause any kind of problems for their parents, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure their parents would be fully supportive of them. So yeah, kind of bit dumb there, but realistic when it comes to all the stuff that was going on in it, and I guess honestly not too much to say. It was good, that is for sure. But I guess I'll just move on to the next thing, which is Pseudo Harem or Giji Harem. I think they pronounced it Giji there correctly. Whatever. I think I'm, for the most part, been pronouncing that thing wrong in my head this entire fucking season. But yeah, overall this was a very good, wholesome rom-com with a great dynamic between Rin and Iseyuru, whatever there. And Rin is basically just a one-girl harem as a result of how good her acting is and everything. As I said the previous time I talked about the anime and stuff, but yeah. Honestly, the only thing I actually have to complain about when it comes to this anime is the fact that they basically cut out the confession and the first kiss, basically, and don't really show that stuff till the final episode, considering it is very clear when that stuff happens in the story, considering the confession there. You literally get right up to where the confession's going to happen, and then they cut it. They didn't show that until the final episode. And then the first kiss, yeah. it clearly happens there, but it doesn't actually show the kiss itself. Because all we could see was the back of Edgy's head, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So, yeah. Though we did get to actually see a kiss in the in the final episode here. So, really honestly kind of stupid that they did that, because I really don't see any reason why they did that, and kind of just cut that stuff out, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, as a result of that, we end up finally getting to see confession. Got a kiss, and they got married all in the final episode there. We finally got all that in the final episode. So I guess that was basically why they did that, but they really did not need to do that. But, the story for this has basically been fully adapted, so no way we're getting a second season or anything, though it would be nice if we did actually get more with something like their married life or whatever. But that's basically no chance that it's ever going to happen unless the author for this decides to make a sequel or something. Which I honestly doubt will happen, to be honest. So, yeah, moving on to the next thing, which is Café Terrace, second season there. And yeah, honestly, I kind of think that this season was actually better than the first season, at least slightly better. And overall, I kind of think it is one of the better harem anime out there, to be honest. And this season had a good amount of development for all the girls and stuff. We even got to see a decent amount of their grandmas as well, I guess. And also we got more girls as side characters that we see, I guess, once every episode at this point. But, yeah, they're side characters, so they don't really matter all that much, considering they literally just supporting the main ships, I guess. But, yeah. Overall, the development for the characters this season was honestly pretty good, and the ending to the season itself was also kind of interesting, considering the whole that Oka left, went to France, and yeah, as a result of that, I'm kind of wondering how things are going to be going in a third season, though that still hasn't been announced. But hopefully it does get a third season, considering I want to see the story continue. But, yeah, overall this season was more or less basically just the same as the first, but more character development and other stuff as well, so slight improvement on the first season at the very least. But there is basically all the anime for this week done. Though I guess I kind of have other news when it comes to anime still, considering Girls Band Cry has gotten a movie announced as well, and then there's also Konosuba with new OVAs and that have been announced as well, which is nice. Getting more stuff there. But yeah, that is that stuff done, I guess. I think there's like 10 anime or something ending next week that I'm going to be talking about or something. It's going to be a bit annoying to deal with all that, but whatever. Azur Lane, I guess this week, I did, of course, get around to the story for this event, and yeah. Honestly, pretty good event, story-wise, that's for sure. And had a good ending and everything. Though I'm not actually convinced it was a good ending, considering it kind of feels like it ended a bit early, intentionally. Almost as if the next event for the story is going to pick up exactly where we left off, with the commander and everyone else that's in the Nakra Singularity trying to get over to the Singularity in North America and getting out from there. Considering this event basically ended as they're planning to head over and get out to the Nautica Singularity before it gets destroyed. But we had nothing after that point, showing that yes, it already has happened. So I'm not exactly convinced that this is a happy ending so far, currently at least. But yeah, I guess when it comes to the event ships so far, I still haven't gotten a Magi yet, so that's a bit annoying. I'm halfway on the Petty for currently, though I'm wondering how many cubes I'm going to be able to actually get over the next 2 weeks. Will that actually be enough to finish that pity? I'm not sure, because I basically have run out of cubes at this point. But yeah, out of the event ships, the very first one I got was Terrace. And after that, I actually managed to get Hiei Meta from polls. And yeah, I managed to get both of them before I even got Susanami, the elite for the event. Yeah, for whatever reason, it took me quite a while to get the elite for once. Honestly, I would have much preferred to get Amaki instead of Hiei Meta, considering I have done enough grinding in the event at this point so I could get all the fucking crystals for Hiei Meta and everything at this point already. So I didn't need to get her in the polls. So yeah, that was kind of annoying. But yeah, I guess other stuff to mention for Azur Lane there is the fact that I did get Seattle last week as well, and I am now working on trying to get Georgia when it comes to the PR2 ships there. And I'm already over halfway getting done with Georgia when it comes to grinding all the experience. I have seriously grinded a lot of experience for her this week. I guess that's mostly as a result of how much grinding I did for the event. But yeah, I don't really think I have all that much else to say here, currently. So, yeah, I guess there is the end of this video here, so I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.